let's ask the question. Let's keep this conversation rolling at least for a little bit while longer. So Kiko, I gotta ask you, bro. Remember we always said the wait for InArt strategy? After Pennywise, is that in question? Because once Gandalf dropped, we were like, okay, all those wait for InArt people, which I'm generally one of them, that you're being rewarded with really, really good figures. The Joker came out great. Of course, Hot Toys is making one that also looks great. Gandalf, of course, the Asmus is pretty good, but at the end of the day, I think the InArt one definitely blows it out of the water, in my opinion. But is that question is that question in doubt? Rather, is it in question, that strategy, just because of the fact of Pennywise being maybe a little bit more divisive? Maybe people don't care about Pennywise, so they just won't notice. What do you think, Kiko?
That's a great question. The main thing is that we've been saying they've only released one figure. Well, now they're on 3, but they struck out on 1, maybe. And that's a 66 on your test. That's failing. I know everyone's like, that's hyperbole. Don't be one release and you're already throwing them out. Like, but sure. Imagine if a third of Hot Toys' release sucked ass. Like, can you imagine? It was like, they're over. You know, Star Ace is now the new 1/6 king.
Star Ace.
But think about that though. You're going to have some misses. You will. I mean, there's no doubt about that. There's sometimes, I mean, think about like some sculpts they just cannot get right. The Mark Hamill sculpt, they've never been able to get right that from Hot Toys. No. Regardless, you're going to have some misses. That's just the way it is. At this price point, you should be having a far, far fewer. But I don't know this whole I'll just wait for InArt type thing, because the whole point is wait for InArt. Do you want to do that? Do you want to mortgage your life essentially away saying, I hope that a better figure comes out? Or do you look to something that's a little more on the horizon? Right now, I'm assuming that they're going to fix the Superman, but we still have the Batman to go. That's out there, but you know, what if, just throwing that out there, what if something went wrong with like the Aragorn, or the next one doesn't hit, or because of how hyped the Batman is, what if it comes out and someone's like, what's happening here? And they're like, this is mid. Does then that start the downward spiral and that's the end of it? And we're so sensationalists when it comes to like absolute truth on certain things. It's always all in. There's no like, well, let's think logically about this. No, that's not the way we work as collectors at all. So the wait for InArt strategy, that's going to have to always be a personal. For me, the waits are still just too long. And I'm put out InArt Daenerys, put out Michael, and then we'll talk. I got one figure that I'm okay with. I'm happy. After I did the work on my $1,000 figure, after I did the work, then it's sufficient. But say I got that shitty Joker with that shitty hair, and then this Pennywise comes looking half-assed, like it just rolled out of bed, and I would be probably upset and be like, am I really one to pay this premium price for it? And that's a question you have to ask. Is this premium quality worth it? Because in-hand stuff is always going to be different. Because even going back to the Gandalf, people are like, wow, one review sucks. Wow, one review is good. Okay. It's going to be like always up in the air. So it's going to be personal preference for sure.
Yeah, I think so. And I generally still feel like waiting for InArt is generally a good thing if you want to wait for the highest quality thing and maybe the certain character. Like, for example, you talked about Danny, right? Danny, like 3-0 makes good figures, some of them really good. But a lot of times their figures can be underwhelming. So if I were trying to get a Jon Snow or a Danny, I would just wait for InArt. I would. I really want those two characters, but it's just like, you know what? I would wait for those two just to get the highest quality that I possibly could. And I'm willing to be patient. Dean, after this Pennywise, bro, I mean, do you think, any of us that have been waiting for InArt, do you think that's a smart strategy, or are we kind of playing ourselves a bit?
That's tough. I mean, even with how late Hot Toys Pennywise was, you would have had yours, almost 2 years already by the time this came out?
Yeah.
So I think it depends on, I guess, the figure. Like, there's so many Superman to choose from. Should you wait for the InArt one? Like, not really. You're also going to get probably a way better deal on it. And is it that much better? A Superman? Probably not. A Gandalf? Yeah, I could see waiting for a Gandalf. But a Superman? I mean, I don't see what they can do to that figure that hasn't already really been done with Hot Toys. Maybe like a minute improvement on the sculpt, but it's like the Hot Toys ones are fine. Like if someone walked into your room and saw it on the shelf, they would know exactly who that is. It's not like it's garbage, you know?
Right.
So it just now the patents in Batmans, that's going to be interesting because they should be coming out around the same time.
Dude, that's going to get real interesting.
So
InArt can't mess that one up.
That is a really interesting choice. But do I think that, because for me personally, I'm keeping the cowl on. Like it's Batman, you know. I don't want a Bruce Wayne. I want a Batman.
Right.
So is the Hot Toys one that much worse than paying the InArt price? Probably not. Especially since I could get it through Sideshow and have that added insurance that if some shit happens, I have my shit taken care of. Not I got to go through some third-party seller and I might not ever see the figure or my money ever again. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, I don't think waiting for InArt is worth that extra, you know, headache.
That makes sense. Well, I mean, to me, here's the thing, Dean, for this one. When I saw this originally, I was like, you know what? It still looks decent in certain spots, but like we talked about, the clothes are undeniably too big for this, at least from what the photographer had set up here. Again, I don't mean to heap all this sort of negativity and blame on the photographer. I'm sure they did a great job overall, but it could just be a matter of lighting. It could be a matter of futzing. I don't know how many figures of
futzing.
Well, how many figures, Dean, have we seen from Hot Toys where like the blogger photos come out and we all fucking freak out and then it starts to get into collectors' homes and we're like,
all the
okay.
time.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not so bad, right? It's, you know,
I've seen
Black Widow,
actual I've seen actual terrible looking figures end up looking pretty good depending on who futzes it.
Right.
So I think it really is all down to futzing. And like I said, with this Pennywise, the quality is probably there just based on what InArt's released. To deny that they've released good products is ignorant, you know, like, they're very nice quality figures. So it's just a matter of, like I said, water treating it and futzing it. I bet this is going to look fantastic. But like Kiko said, should you have to do that on $1,000 figure? I mean, this isn't $1,000, but no.
Yeah, but it's like a $500 figure. I mean,
that's very annoying. That's super annoying.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm probably still going to be happy with it at the end of the day because it's Pennywise, but it's just a matter of when I look at the prototype, it could be a matter of futzing, it could be a matter of lighting. I don't know, but the prototype was literal perfection. And I think collectors, we sometimes get in our heads like the prototypes, it's going to be pretty close, and it should be. But then when it comes out not that, your expectations are like, oh man, I'm just a little let down in that sense. But we're going to see. I mean, I'm going to review it and maybe I'll love it in person. Maybe I'm totally wrong. And I'm happy to, like I said, admit that if so. But I still think waiting for InArt is a smart strategy if you're patient, if you are curating your collection, if you don't buy, you know, everything, you have limited space. Maybe you want to wait for the highest quality you can. Maybe you can go back up and pick up the Hot Toys if you need to, or another version. But to me, InArt has shown with 2 figures so far that they can do really high-end shit. So I'm willing to kind of put my faith in that still. But this Pennywise, I mean, we'll see, guys. There should be some reviews hitting there soon. I've not heard anything about shipping. My Gandalf has shipped. I do know that, but yeah.
Wow, did it really?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. Yeah, Kit shipped out my Gandalf, so I'm really excited about that. I know Joao already did his review, but that's just because he lives over there and I don't. Yeah. So, you know, I hopefully should have mine soon. I did get Black Panther today from Comic Concepts. I'm really excited about that. That got in, and I'm going to be reviewing Sylvie actually as well. And Captain America, Sam Wilson. That's going to come, I think, Tuesday. So really excited to some reviews to get to you guys. So yeah, there's going to be a review for Pennywise, hopefully in the near future, but I guess we shall see.